can you tell the difference between irrational judgment and rational judgment? There is, after all, that kind of judgment that people mean when they say, she has excellent judgment about people. He's an exceptional judge of horses. She exercised great judgment when she purchased that land. Or, the judgment of the jury was fair. This can be a tricky topic because people often get very riled up, defending their irrational judgment as necessary, crucial, and even a sterling character trait. For people on the path to self-realization, it's important to understand the difference between these types of judgment. I separate them into two categories: ego-based, emotionally charged judgment, and neutral or evaluative judgment, also known as discernment. The ego-based type of judgment stems from fear and is locked in the right-wrong reality, and is therefore irrational and unhealthy to hang on to in the long term. The neutral type of judgment or discernment is based in rationality and is a wonderful quality to cultivate. So again, how can you tell these apart? Easily. The answer will come upon assessing your emotional state by checking in with your internal feeling barometer. If you feel triggered, upset, annoyed, or irritated in any way, then there's a negative charge of energy present. If you feel good in an ego-based way, such as self-righteous, better than, smug, superior to someone, or if you feel overly happy, manic, or excited, then there's a positive charge of judgment present. True discernment or evaluative judgment comes from a place of total neutrality. And when you reside in that place, all of your thoughts are in alignment with energies of peace and loving. This is the feeling that yoga or Tai Chi teachers call centered. To avoid confusion, when I refer to the term judgment in this series of blogs, I'll be using it to mean the irrational, fear-based kind of judgment that is attached to a feeling of good or bad, right or wrong. When I'm referring to the neutral kind of judgment, I'll use the word discernment to promote clarity. In short, if a thought makes you feel off-centered, this is an indication that judgment, not discernment, is present. One helpful way to visualize how this works on a feeling level is picturing a pendulum like that of the grandfather clock, and imagine it hanging down your center inside of your body. You can imagine the pendulum as your internal feeling barometer. When you're residing in loving, your pendulum will be still and centered, hanging in a completely neutral position in alignment with loving. You'll experience a sense of internal stillness or peace. If your emotional barometer swings off-center, then you're residing in right-wrong reality, because the swing of your internal barometer will be in either good or bad territory, indicating that a judgment is present. You'll feel an emotional response inside that upsets your peace in some way, large or small. Can you think of a time when you felt a neutral discernment? Next, can you think of a time when you felt emotionally charged, when you felt a judgment? Which do you more often experience in your life? Be willing to look at yourself deeply. Once you begin to really tune in to your own feeling barometer, you'll easily be able to tell or if you are in judgment or if you are in neutral discernment. If you find yourself running a lot of emotionally charged judgment, you can begin to apply compassion inside of yourself liberally. When you're in neutrality, you'll feel very centered and steady inside, and your body will be at ease. This is your natural state of being. Say, I now easily tell the difference between ego-based judgment and the neutrality of discernment. The more awareness you can bring to your state of being, the faster you'll move into the peace of the loving. Action step. Recognize the difference between rational judgment, discernment, and irrational judgment, emotionally charged judgment. Declaration. I now easily experience the difference between an ego-based judgment and the neutrality of discernment. Judgment causes my feeling barometer to swing off course, while discernment feels steady, centered, and peaceful. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.